Traveler, the Man in Red, Chapter 49. It had been around 6 months when the holiday season invaded Wales, and like many living on the boardwalk, a certain elderly couple had taken to decorating their outdoor beach deck. This time of year, however, it looked odd to see the snow-laden porch with its blinking Christmas lights. The old man thought of this as he started out while sipping his favorite holiday beverage, a well-spiked eggnog. Spiked with 100-year-old Scotch, by God! Cold outside, warm and snuggly inside, just the way he liked it. The old man looked over to see his dear wife had fallen asleep in front of the TV and the fireplace. Couldn't blame her. Cold outside, warm and snuggly inside, by the light of the TV and the fireplace. He adjusted his peacefully sleeping wife's shawl, sweetly making sure she stayed warm during her long winter's nap. The old man sat down, certain not to spill his spiked eggnog. Although he hadn't had a cigarette in the better part of a year, he figured he'd indulge in a little legal marijuana on his holiday eve. Unfortunately, just as he was about to light the fat spliff, the retired Commodore heard a sound of mechanical course. A silver door suddenly appeared on the wall by his TV. Simple, industrial, the door was polished with a similar polished silver handle. The handle twisted, and the silver door opened, revealing a young Mercurian woman, very attractive, sporting a smile that would melt any heart. Her name was Dawn Roth Landers III, better known as D3.
"Sally!"
she shouted. Sullivan Brontworth, 70 years of age, retired Commodore in Her Majesty's Royal Navy, dropped his unlit joint on his lap and sat, mouth open, staring at D3. "D3!" Sully shouted back, in surprise as much as excitement, seeing the young woman again. They stared at each other for a moment. D3 looked around at his cottage.
"Huh, festive,"
she announced cheerily. Sully shook his head. "I thought you were in the future now, young lass. Got yourself a beau and went off on adventures." D3 nodded.
"Oh, yes, that's very true. Speaking of..."
She opened the door wider.
"Speaking of, I was hoping you could help me with something, Sally."
Revealing a gentleman he hadn't seen before. He was thick around the face and dark-skinned, seemingly of Mediterranean or Middle Eastern descent. He was bald, and he had a small, well-groomed, curly beard. The stranger was clad in all silver and had a chrome tie. Sully looked down to see the outfit complete with a gray exclamation mark cane. "Who you are? Who am I now?" The stranger in silver smiled, then immediately collapsed, having passed out on Sully's living room floor. "Oh, you are shitting me." The retired Commodore dropped his eggnog.